Let's hope this streams, because YouTube kicked me off. But, you know, everyone's on YouTube at the moment, so it makes complete sense. We're in hermit mode. I'm bouncing because I'm walking to the office. I was like, okay, let's set this up and hope to God it doesn't kick me off again, because, you know, I did make a surprise appearance this morning. I'm a psychic medium, for those of you that don't know. I'm also a twin flame who's in union. Fun. And I also do coaching. So if you don't know, I cover the astrology. I connect in with the psychic energy. And I'm a twin flame who's in union. So we're going to get into the energy. Now, obviously, a lot of us at the moment, hi Dal, you know, with the energy of hermit mode, I mentioned this on the previous video before it knocked me off. Now, those of you on the twin flame path that are potentially first wavers, you may have done a lot of the integration work and been in hermit mode. So this to you will be quite normal, you know, and we call it the ascension moment. You know, the pants, we wear them, we're in tracksuit mode and we're at home and we've gone through the integration of hermit mode, and it is an aspect of the twin flame path. Returning to that will be unique, but you will find that you may accidentally trigger other people around you if you do feel grounded, and you'll bounce between both energies. Hi, Stefan. Hi, everyone. Now, what I'm going to say is what I am picking up in my private reads and what has been coming through at a level, it's really interesting because the Justice card keeps coming up and we're moving into the moon energy of a super full moon in Libra. However, you know, in researching it, the swords energy and things to those degrees have been coming up in the reads, and I am seeing a kind of theme, and this is very much, you know, the previous moon we had was the Aries new moon, and new moons is out with the old and with the new, but again, Aries is in Chiron, so a lot of us are dealing with our wounds and we're trying to move through our triggers. Hi, Mark. So, you know, with that, you've got to bear in mind that moving into the super full moon in Libra being the scales, it does depend on the other aspects that are occurring at the time. And, you know, with Venus being in Gemini, although Twin Flame Collective talks about Gemini being the twins, yes, but it's also non-codependent. So it's a very unique transit we're going through, where it's really showing us where we've been standing in our way, where potentially any slight aspect we had of codependency in that, it's doing two things. You know, the Libran full moon is asking you to balance the yin and yang. The previous Aries moon is still in the frequency of the residue. So we're looking at it, and, you know, some of you might be repulsed by the journey. Others of you might be, this isn't quite the fairy tale we thought it would be. And, you know, most of you that are twin flames know, you know, some people that aren't twin flames, they'll be looking at it going, oh, what is this crock sort of thing? It's not a fairy tale. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of spiritual upgrade. Many of you that feel potentially you could jump off the journey and go elsewhere, yes, that's so. But one thing I will tell you is once you have reached an awoken state, you see the light and the dark in it. It's the yin and yang with all of those things. You do tend to find, you know, when you're attracting a partner energy, you're completely transformed. So the way in which you're going to interact with them is going to be very non-codependent. So if they have any of those energies that you've already moved through, you will find it extremely difficult to interact with them, and you will accidentally trigger them and move them into their ascended path. So it does come with a great deal of responsibility during that transit. Now, some people have been inboxing me, which I'm all good with, you know, at the website. If you've got a question or you want to write it in the community tab or under any of their videos, and it's potentially, you know, an area you want me to cover, I'm trying to very quickly try and get a lot of the information videos done. I'm recreating a schedule because I have promised to do those things. When it does come down to it, you know, don't think for a second that many of us can kind of get confused between, is this my legit twin or is this a karmic? Now, one thing I have noticed in Twin Flame Path is you will get to a point you'll know who your twin is, and that is simply because it's a repetitious thing. Yet how you react to other people won't be the same. At the very end of the journey, and part of through that journey, you will tend to meet somebody who is similar to twin, but potentially with less blockages energetically. it's also there to show you that you potentially have changed, and there's light and dark in every human being on the planet. It's a reality. But when we've had a pain body experience connected to a soul energy, some of us, the pain is so grand that you're wondering how you can get that balance back to even having a direct connection with them. So the direct example is an energy is attracted towards you that potentially appears to be more ascended, but is a lighter frequency. And some of you, I've had clients say to me, I just want to go and have a vegetable garden. I want to have a very simple life. Living a normal life, which is extremely difficult because you're no longer that human being anymore. And it's not that you can't integrate that within your life. It's that some of these energies transform to the point where your upgrade energetically is so profound that you can't go backwards. So you may find some of these connections end up being extremely fleeting. You can, at the very end stage, directly attract a twin. So you will see signs, synchronicities. And I know both my twin and I did go through that. And the reason I know that is because in separation, how do I put it? I've been on the path over 20 years. Psychic medium. Didn't know anything about twin flame path till about 4 years ago. And then I started energetically seeing numbers, synchronicities. I didn't have the ego connected to the tag, which was healthy. It helped me, but it also, to a degree, didn't help me understand that what part of my energy was to upgrade. In doing that, with my separation time, I started looking back on patterns because, yes, we tend to go to the internet and we're like, okay, it's our resource, it's our Wikipedia, and connecting with tribe members on YouTube it's handy, but we also have to discern between what's real and what's not. You will have a pocket of time where you will directly be looking at very romanticized versions. What are they doing? What is the karmic doing? Again, it is a purge because no energy is in competition with you. No energy can take your power away, nor, if you have your gut instincts, could you have prevented certain situations from playing out. So there's a great deal of healing that ends up coming through in you. So when I did look back and regress back into the patterns, the one thing I'd noticed very synchronistically was upon separation, the person that my twin ended up connecting with happened to be a twin, and I'd given the female a reading. And then synchronistically, as I was doing healing and separation, I then directly had communication with another energy that happened to be a masculine twin. And so healing can come at a romantic level. It can be at a conversational piece. They will be potentially more open to it. They'll hold the attributes of potentially feminine. And it's potentially where you, as a feminine, are embodying more masculine energy, and the yin and yang energy is out. And it's the same within the masculine energy too. So when I started looking at that, initially, it's a bit like a Venus retrograde, and this is another energy that we need to be looking at the moment because we are moving into a time where communication is going to come in. Don't get triggered thinking that because it's Venus retrograde, it's the worst time to connect with energies, regardless. Because, in astrology, we talk about it's almost like a fleeting romance. The thing is, in a soul energy, and when you're energetically upgrading, the karmic energy actually resides inside us. So what will happen is you will attract the like vibration, and it is there to benefit you to upgrade. So it's not going to break you down. What is already there is going to be shown to you. It's also a deep healing time of communication coming in. Now, it can appear quite detached, and you need to really not be triggered by that, because with the Libran energy, we had the Aries moon that was very much a masculine frequency. With all of us have that in us. It's our hunter-gatherer, it's our employment. It's also linking in with your Aries and Chiron placement. And that's to do with your wounds, how it directly triggers. So on all of your zodiac signs I do on YouTube, be it you're a twin flame or you're not, I connect the aspects so that you can understand what's going on with you. So it's like a mini coaching session. but it's there for food for thought for you to have the information for that moving through the month. So you've actually got the nav man inside you, and you can look at that trigger and work on it so that it doesn't disable you to a degree. Moving into the Libran energy, again, it's your subconscious mind will directly impact you. So, again, it can be, 12th house is unique in many ways. It is the end stage, and it's a cycle of awakening. It also can be your hidden resources. So again, purging codependency and looking at things where you can actually connect and help yourself, but not stand in your way and potentially get paranoid that, things are there. So again, it's your psychic download, but it's your crown chakra potentially telling you. And, collectively, with all the Pisces energy in February and March, it was very much at a collective level 12th house. So when you're trying to make plans about moving forward and people were going into lockdown, it's a psychological aspect of, okay, is something being hidden from us? We can't see the hay for the cloud. So how do we make a direct movement forward? And again, being in fluid energy is a lot of detachment. And so any aspect that was coming up for you guys during February and March was to do with dropping the need for having a total direct plan, because plans do fail. And my twin's always saying this to me. Like I said, you'll tend to attract a twin prior to union. It's there for a spiritual test and to resolve some unfinished business. And it doesn't even have to be at a romantic level. It can be at a spiritual conversational piece for you to integrate that energy inside you. Or it can be romantic. It depends on how you take it and deal with that energy. Nevertheless, there is an upgrade that occurs with that. When you've dealt with that, however, and you are moving forward, you become a different person and you look at things extremely differently. By the time we reach the Taurus moon energy, it is feminine. So it's like we're doing the masculine, which will be, again, whenever you're looking at readings, you need to look at the yin and yang energy, because balance creates union. First with self, because if we don't have our cup full, we can't give to anyone. We're in that codependent energy, and it becomes a new cycle of healing. So what we want to do is to avoid that. So as much as we can get frustrated that we're saying we need work to be done, why would you want to carry baggage with you? Because it's very debilitating, and it's, sometimes we wonder how we do this work. Allow what needs to come up. Don't micromanage your healing. Don't look at time, because when you're looking at time, and I've really got to prevent myself from saying don't, loosen up on the energy of being fixated on how long you're taking. Anytime you're looking at your twin and you're feeling they're taking too bloody long, look back at how you're putting pressure on yourself. So first point, Aries, new moon. That was the energy where we were turning over a new leaf, looking at careers differently, looking at our work, what are our value system, what are our roles in society, and what are we fighting for? And that can be even the egoic purge. Moving into the Libran moon, which is a super full moon. It's a pink moon, which again can be a lot of heart chakra. But Juno currently is in Libra. Now, it went retrograde in Libra around October last year, and it will be going direct as of May. Now, this month, mid-month, which is marriages, contracts, partnerships, and connections, so anything we're connecting in with it being a full moon, all the cards that were coming up in my private reads were very much that of what was lower frequency, imbalanced, not resolved, is going to come to the forefront. So if you or the energy has done something that's out of alignment, it's going to come up to be looked at. We need to be cautious to not be selfish. So it can be very, even though Libran is very balanced and understanding, the Gemini aspect is very detached. So yes, comedy and lightheartedness can help us handle this very heavy cycle at the moment. But it's also being open to the perspective of if somebody needs to reach out. Really, when I was doing any communication with twin, it not even at a telepathic level prior to union. So many readers will say send love and light. Now, yes, around this time you spiritually can, but if you're tuning into what they'd need to do to end up resolving situations, you can think that. then stop and look at yourself and say, okay, if this is coming up in me, is there something that I'm doing that's similar where I haven't directly addressed it and I need a human being to be a certain way so that this does not come up? Because when I did actually start doing that work in the mirror, I wrote down everything I felt that person needed to do and what the flaws were, quite frankly. And then I paused for a day, maybe even for that day. I went back and I wrote down, okay, how does this directly relate to you, Yildiz? And when I did, I was profoundly shocked at how much work I had to do. And I was like, wow. And it didn't have to be anything to the degree that it wasn't major, but it shifted my mindset to see how equal and dual we were. A lot of misconceptions in twin flame path actually state feminine is ascended further. You're both ascending similar, but you're doing it from a different perspective. Now, masculines have been going through energies of dark nighted soul energy. They definitely have ascended a lot quicker than potentially feminine has. But it was for you, you all needed to see the light that you actually were. So it was our challenge energetically to own that. And again, owning your power doesn't mean with your healthy boundaries that you need to build fences up, because that's actually not integration. Healthy boundaries, what I found when I moved into twin flame union was I was my boundary. That when I chose to physically do something, the accountable energy was I have absolutely no control over what another person does. Any person on the planet has the potential to hurt me, be it a new person or an old person. And that while I was able to hold space in the present moment, I was more able to experience the moment instead of living 20 years behind or 20 years ahead. That's a lot of attachment, and it prevents you from actually experiencing things. And there's always a reason why reunion and union and communication comes in. 9 times out of 10, it will occur when you have detached, where you're not thinking about how they need to come, what they need to do, what went down. That's the process you need to reach. Now, I will say I am seeing a huge pocket moving through where between now and next month, there will be a lot of communication. Very warm welcome. So with the communication that will be coming through, being aware that your wounds are inside you. A lot of people have said to me, and these are the questions I've been getting. How do I know they're my twin if they're toxic? Now, yes, it doesn't have to be that they're not your twin. They are, but your mindset of you feeling you need to fix them, you need to detach from. Twins are not perfect, okay? We're not perfect. We may have came in a different way towards the masculine, and it may have been misinterpreted, but it doesn't mean to say that, you know, the picture that's painted on YouTube is that twins are perfect. Now, I've been on YouTube for 4 years. I've been coaching twin flames for 4 years. I've been a psychic medium for over 20 years, well, since I was a child, really. And psychically speaking, what I will tell you, what I have tuned into the masculine energies, is that they wanted you to see the light you were. Now, when we are reacting and enabling, they see us very similar to a karmic. And that's the reality. It's not that, and they don't see you as that. It confuses them as that. Also, another thing is, yes, you can have a twin flame that does have problems, and that can be addictions, it can be spiritual blockages. Karmic energy does not have to be a partner. It can also be the energy of oh gosh, and we more had the addiction side of things at a very heavy level, potentially 2017 and 18. Doesn't mean to say it's not there now, but at a spiritual level, depending on where you are in the path, when you're tuning into it, it's fueling that energy at an energetic level, and it has to be the person's energy to upgrade that and deal with it. But the healthy boundary is you creating that boundary for yourself to not enable, to not, and it doesn't mean to say don't have compassion, but it's you need to tune into why you would feel that is all you or that human being is entitled to. Also, when you're tuning into only having connections on the 5D, at some point in your journey, you will feel that the only way you can have a physical connection with this person safely is in the 5D, and you will find doors will be closed. So yes, on the astral plane, you do tend to get those connections. And it will be more so, and you will see a different energy with that person. You will then purge that where you will feel you are ready to have a 3D experience. Now, as long as you have purged to the degree where you are accepting that it is humanly possible, that you have removed your ego to the point where you are telling yourself fake stories, where you are too codependent on what people state about what your belief systems are, what you believe to be true inside you. 9 times out of 10, if you get grounded, hi Luciana, and you can sit there with the frequency and you can then ask yourself a chain of questions. If you state to yourself, do you feel you will never see this person again? 9 times out of 10, if you're away from ego, you will know that that is false. And that's where you need to get to. You need to have that talk and say, okay, so are you believing you're never going to see this person again? 9 times out of 10, if you're Trent, it's false because it has been in, out, in, out. It's not going to be the same each time because you are not the same. Also, as you evolve, you can't then have the ego thinking that that person is going to be the same. Your fear-based frequency is telling you they are, but they're actually not. Your trigger points are going to tell you are, but they're actually not. So you won't get the same recipe, providing you're doing the work. And the work will be on what you're fixated on. It's, do they need to, level up in some area? Would they need to deal with healthy boundaries? Then look at it. Okay, do you? And I found I would do this work with myself. It's like, okay, non-healthy boundaries with karmics. Okay, whereby do I have karmic energies in my life that I am not creating healthy boundaries with? And that to me was upgrading me. And there was no harm in it, but I did then see synchronistically energy shifts within the connection. When you do reach the point where you're in separation and you're focusing on what they're doing, you do need to put the energy back onto you. You find, if you think back, anytime you've attempted to move forward, you directly get contact. And it's because you are detached. You are, hi Valerie, you are very focused on your path. You're very focused, hi Dale, you're very focused on your hopes and dreams. Now, yes, at the moment it's very difficult. But, I've been sharing posts and I've been trying to connect them with Instagram, Facebook, all the mediums, and trying to put that positive vibe out. This lockdown energy will shift. So what's coming up for you right now is really important for you to look at. Also, to give you hope, it's the art of appreciation. What are you feeling now? And it doesn't have to be just twin flame energy. It can also be, for me, I've been in hermit mode potentially for 4 years, very fiercely working on YouTube, and then obviously the reconnection. There was connection with children, karmics, transformation of location, home, trying to balance family, twins, children, my child. So all of those transformative energies, now that those are shifting, I then, in hermit mode, again, during lockdown, looked at it and went the art of appreciation. So you start noticing some things that you're missing, and it was balance. And that's what Libran energy is. It's balance of, it's showing you, okay, now that you've had this hermit mode, do you have ego connected to things? Do you look at things now and go, gee, why don't I go to the beach as much? Now my twin's calling me, I swear. I did say to him, he should create a YouTube channel. I'm working on them, okay? You've got, look, some on YouTube are able to be in their twin flame connection and talk about it. The other aspect is we do need to be mindful. If there are children involved and there's karmics involved, it's for the safety and the integrity of children and things to that degree. So everything I share, and especially with my private coaching sessions, I try to do that, and I'll try and connect the join button. So these chats, I can be more open, but it's more in a private form where it can't be viewed by karmic energies. Let me put it that way, because it is for the integrity of the children, my child, people directly connected. That integrity is there, because obviously it isn't all I do. but at the same time, it is for the safety factor of them. Now, I can say, yes, there has been toxicity in the energy of connection. So if you've had any of those things happening, yes, I can directly relate. And some of you come to me and you're very cautious, and I don't expect you on Skype calls. You don't have to have, your camera on or anything to that degree. How you see me, which most of the people here in the live chat will tell you, I'm exactly the same. I'm pretty down to earth. I'm very, very open-minded. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what you see is what you get with me. So I will really elaborate on a lot of hurdles that I've had, as to what my twin flame path has been. There has been karmics, there has been infidelities, there's been children, there's been job-related dynamics, karmic friends, you name it, we've seen it. But again, we directly attract what we believe we're entitled to. So my soul must have been a real jerk in a past life, I'm telling you. Because as I've said to my girlfriends, we must have been men in a past life, because this was our karma. Nevertheless, I'm going to get into the energies. I'm going to pull. Now, you will find more communication coming through. You do need to start planning, in a sense, to motivate you to look at the future. If you're tuning into this is going to be forever, you're going to be in hermit mode forever, it's not true. This too shall pass. Yes, it's going to be different. We're entering into very unique times. The masculines at the moment are very frustrated with the lockdown. Many have wanted to move forward. Many have wanted to move forward, communicate, and it was their intention around January. So at a mental level, it first directly occurs on a mental level. It then directly occurs on a 3D level. So when you're looking at readings on YouTube and you're saying, oh, they're coming towards you, and you're sitting there going, where? Remember, it first occurs in the ethers. It then moves through, and you will know it instinctually. You will vibrationally feel it. You've got to ask yourself, though, if they turned up at your door now, virus aside, how would you feel about that? If your stomach sinks, what haven't you done or dealt with that you directly need to deal with right about now? Because that's something that needs to be addressed. How are we anyway? Yeah, just keep grounded, plan, but make plans for your life. Don't feel that, for me, I would start planning and I would be moving forward. Now everyone's messaging me because I try and message everyone that's on my messenger. Some people can't actually use Skype, etc. So at times I make allowances. And hi, Connie. And I try and connect in with Messenger and Facebook and send positive vibes. Because, again, I did tune into what's going on in the news, but I do give myself breaks, only from a perspective of being a psychic energy, that what you feed grows. So your circle of concern, if you're getting very triggered, yeah, many of you, it is due to the lockdown. Oh, gosh, okay, masculine's energy is looking interesting. They're very much in their third eye at the moment. Even when I'm tuning into it, it's almost giving me sinus, and I know my twins got sinus this morning. Very quiet frequency. Like it's an inconvenience. It's an inconvenience. Like, how did this happen? Very karmic, right? Again, you'll find, remember, when we tune into the masculine energies, what's going on in your career sector and your hunter-gatherer and where your power is. And again, remember, feminines. Your power is within your creative energy. Now, I am going to try and do, I don't know where I'm going to post it yet, but I will start doing chakra recipes for the astrology. And it's only because right now we're deeply needing it. Focus on your base chakra at the moment, because obviously Saturn going retrograde, you're going to have your chakras. And again, I'm not a nutritionist. This is purely from what I would do. You choose to do what you want to do, or I would say talk to a health professional, right? But I think that's going to be difficult right about now. Lower base chakra, if you research it from professionals, in the chakra industry, they will talk about the red food group. Now, Saturn is connected to bones and teeth. So be mindful, especially if your lower back is hurting you. It is connected to the astrology. It's also a physical foundation. So if you're getting triggered, which mine has been going like this potentially for 2 months, driving me crazy, I tell you, I will be doing recipes based on that. So it's red food groups. You can do the meditation in that area, especially from your masculine perspective. They're having to really integrate a lot of feminine energy inside them at the moment. And you'll always know when you've got an imbalance because you'll have one side of your body more so experiencing ailments than the other side. And so it's the yin and yang off, and pay none to what side's what, just get it balanced. Getting it balanced can be sitting in space, creating a spiritual practice. And when we say spiritual practice, it doesn't have to be we're doing Buddhist monk energy. It's what, create time for yourself, especially since many of you are going to be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning again. When we have the realm thin and there's people transcending over, the windows open so the dark energies can come in. You're also going to have Schumann resonance spiking and dropping. You will find that your loved ones will energetically tap into you. So you may be seeing things on the peripheral. You may be seeing things in your room, shadow people, etc. Again, I do work in that area too. And I will be working with Luciana soon on YouTube, where we can talk about remote healing and energy clearing for your home and things to that degree, because she actually has the ability to do it remotely. So I will connect the link under here for her website if you're needing her. Also, the yellow and orange food groups. And that is because while you're in lockdown and you're dealing with a lot of inner child, which is, again, Chiron and Aries energy, high heart chakra when you're purging, the creative energy and the chemistry energy is going up and down. So if you're getting that and you're thinking, where's this coming from? There is this pull where the masculine is wanting to move things forward. Now, your crowning energy, guys, is there's pessimism. Both energies are a little bit pessimistic right about now because you're wondering, what's the point of checking into love ratings when everyone's in lockdown? There's many ways to skin a cat, so to speak, okay? So, again, don't feel that just because you're in lockdown, nothing's going to move. This is what's been shown to me. It's like, just because you're in lockdown, don't think things aren't moving. And there is an egoic purge that's going on in the collective, both in male and female energies. Like, what's the point energy? What's the point energy? Your circle of concern. It's funny because this morning I opened the drawer, and I'm going to keep this here. It's my large chalk, okay? Now, spiritually speaking, what you've got to do is when you're getting triggered, you've got to picture this in your mind's eye. Now, what should we pick? What colour do we pick? What colour are we picking? We got white. Well, maybe we should do it white. Okay, get grounded. We'll do the pink, right? You picture a piece of chalk. Well, yellow's for creativity and inner child, so that's the message for you. Red for the foundation, but it's kind of pink. You're basically gonna get the chalk in your mind's eye. And if you're getting triggered and you think, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I can't do that, circle of concern. Picture drawing a circle around your physical body and then look at it. And with what you're looking at is your power. That's all you have. And the reason why people are so struggling at the moment is because we potentially have this fake ego of what we have control over. Which again, when you're getting triggered with twin, picture the chalk and draw a circle around you. That is what you can control. You're the car, right? You're driving. How you relate to people, you can control. Why you relate to people, you can control. Their circle is their circle of concern. If they need to upgrade, if they're ascending, if they're open and communicating, you don't need to get into a purgatory sense. Get back, get the chalk, draw around you and say, look, if my intuition was correct, I wouldn't have got hurt. Wrong. If I checked the phone, I would have known. Wrong. Not your problem. If I didn't block them, but you don't need to block, because it's, again, if we get into blocking, the first thing we need to look at, are we acting like children? Do we have to equal that frequency, or can we just leave it where, obviously if there's attack and it's nasty, 100%. But if nothing is going on back and forward, you're looking at it like you've got the chalk and you're going, that's what I've got control over. It's a button. Let's get it really real. The tit for tat energy's got to stop. So just leave it simple, keep it simple, and refocus back on the energy you have control over. Now, their crowning energy is the Magician, which is perfect, which means they're in their manifestation energy. This technically is linked in with masculine energy. Now, where they can control things, and this is a lot of meditation. Like I said, it is third eye energy, but it's almost like, looking at the stars, putting it up into the ethers, deep, deep manifestation. They're looking at the bigger picture more so than us. We're very much looking at, well, we can't go left, we can't go right. Some will be very in the anchored moment. Others will be doing this. There's no point looking at it because nothing's changing. Well, are you the same person? No. Okay. And is lockdown going to be forever? No. So looking at where you need to level up right now is important. Being in this lower frequency energy, you need to get into your spiritual practice. So a routine can be waking up. Waking up, make your bed. After that, you've achieved the first task. And the army talk about this. It can be, going and putting some meditation music on to set the vibration in the home. Clearing your home now and then. Don't do it all the time, because you need to achieve balance within yin and yang energy as well as dark and light energy, so that you're raising your auric vibration. Create a new routine. There is a routine in it, but there's also a lot of things while you were busy on Eat, Pray, Repeat, you didn't get to do at home. You need to finalize those things, because the energy of this year is a vibration 4, which means you're going to be very busy once we go back. So we need to look at healthy ways we can recreate this. I'm going to have to be quick just in case someone calls. Now, past how they're feeling, they were not ready for this lockdown. They were like, okay, I had some plans. What is my sign? My sign is Libra. My rising and moon is Cancer. My twins is Cancer, and his is Libra. Venus is, let me think, Scorpio. Twins is Leo. Nodal energy is interesting too. In here. Okay, at the heart of it. Sorry about the separation. Now, even if you're in reunion, you're going to have these energies, because it may be in some shape or form you feel very disconnected. You're tuning into that energy of how you had the separation. You might have to go to work and you feel you're not getting the energy, because there's essential workers as well. So it's either on your side, feminine or masculine, because I read for the collective. Even these energies for me directly do relate, because I look at it as a spiritual path and an upgrade. So in general, deep at the heart of the reading, very energetic energy of separation, almost disempowerment, but manifesting. And apparently I do have kind of cusp, Gemini here, which Mark calls it the party animal hugging the door. We'll put that in a very polite way. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I can go from super serious and professional to party. And that does come through, and it always does surprise people, because I will let my hair down. Yeah, I'm party rock, LMAFI. That's me. So I'll go from really, really serious, because I've used to do nursing for years, all the way to let's let our hair down. We need to shake this vibe off. And that's what we need to do right about now. So now, masculine is like, okay, I need to think about this. I'm going to have to find this tactical response to deal with this adverse situation, and they're planning. So feminines, you better get ready. I mean, they're ready. They're more ready than you. There you go, Paris. Yeah, so you know what the goal is. Ooh. Their foundation. They're cutting things out. Now, some of them might be stuck in a karmic relationship. If they are, it's not connection, I'm telling you. And this is probably more for the first and the second lavers. Third are newbies more, and it's more the awakening of that energy. You'll find children are really awakening at the moment very, very quickly, so they can be triggered. They can have a lot of ego right now. Feeling a bit stir crazy. Again, it is, the frequency of the shake-up energy and what's not in our control. So it's the acceptance. We might be, spewing sputum as to how frustrated we are. Again, it's a purgatory experience, because what we have control over is, like I said, the chalk. Draw the circle around you. That's all you've got control over. What we do with others, it's their energy to upgrade. We may lead by example, but we can't directly change people. Now, their foundation is two's company, three's a crowd. They're reducing it down to what really matters. This has really given a lot of clarity in their life about what is serving them and what is not. And they're in awareness of this. They're ready. They're ready to hop out of the hot pan. They're also, for some that have already had that separation, it does feel like they're looking at that and they're thinking how they can handle it so that can be sorted out. Now, I'm going to jump over to the feminine side. Okay, you guys might be really, really strict with yourselves. Like, why didn't you see this coming? Again, remember, gut instincts does not protect you to know all. There are things you are not supposed to know. It's teaching us to be fluid in the current energy. We don't need to know where everything is going. And again, try not to tune into how they need to correct things, because it's enabling. It's their energy to choose what their actions are. It's our energy to choose what our actions are. Some of you, however, in the aspect of the finances, you're tapping into it and you're thinking, wow, didn't see this coming. Are we ready for this? But again, when Saturn's retrograde, you tend to see flaws in plans. Pluto on the 25th will be going retrograde. Yes, it's going to be in Capricorn, which is kind of good. It means, okay, what needs to shift now? Now, do remember, for the next 4 months, you're getting a bit of a glimpse of what 2021 is going to look like. So look at the themes, jot them down. Anything in a sense of what you are seeing is a flawed premise and what you need to shift and what you've learned now, it's going to come up in 2021. So write those notes down. Move into alignment. It can be a change of career. It can be a change in mindset. Whatever it is, write the profound energy down and get ready for 2020. So these things are coming to the forefront of your mind right about now. Past tense energy. I told you the judgment card was going to come up. It's in the upright, which is positive. So you're trying to look at the past and make judgments. But again, the past does not mean it's going to be the same in the future. You will find with everything happening at the moment, everything is shifting. But you got the judgment energy. This is a renewal of the past. You need to accept it as a new frequency. So it's this understanding and comprehension. At the heart of it, you guys are in the Ten of Swords energy. So it may be purges coming up, frustration, inability to help or be with people, having upgrades and downgrades. Now, when I say downgrades, it's more descension and ascension. And it can be going up and down. I know for me personal, I'm generally very leveled. I have noticed there will be energies, and it's more heart chakra. And I'm seeing a lot of empathy for things that are happening, sorrow energy. And again, it's the Libran scales, but then it can move a 360 and you'll be leveled up. But really pertaining to, this heartbreak, it's coming up in your mind again because you've got the time to tune in. Now, there is potentially this brand new beginning coming. Some of you might be thinking, is it your side to do such? And try not to look at it as a competition. If you feel inclined to send a message, I tended to, in separation, and that's for those of you in separation, you can be in heart chakra where you can say, my thoughts are with you, I hope you are well. And it's not a question then. It's not codependent. It's not attached. So you can, if you feel inclined to, do such. But this is very much, I do feel it's at a karmic level because we had the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn and they're transitioning over in May. I do feel a lot of this frequency that's moving is very much to do with new cycles coming in. So yes, in June and July, we'll have eclipses. It is bringing new themes. So at a karmic level, family karmic level, that energy is shifting. Oof. I do feel for many of you, this is a conversation coming through from your love interest, your twin, relating to, it can be potentially a person that had transcended over, and I feel this is old energy, it's not new energy. But this is to do with a loved one. There was a blockage in their heart, and they've seen the reality of things. It's really transformed them. I do feel both of you synchronistically have this common thing, common energy, and it does feel a little bit of mirroring going on. Now, overall, your foundation is trying to do things quite traditional. Now, feminines, what's going on with that? You guys aren't traditional. You might, okay, and I'm picking up that some of you are wanting to have, yeah, I'll talk about the dreams as well and the reason why that's happening. Your energy of the Hierophant coming through, like I said, some of you are just wanting to have a very traditional connection and you want it simple. You've got to understand, and this is one thing I've seen, is that masculine is deeply traditional, and they do go through this transitional state within reunion union. And they're kind of looking at you, and it's almost like you will reach an epiphany that you're not traditional. It was what both of you were trying to learn. And it's like trying to be the leveled up version of yourself does not mean to say wrong place to do this. Mark, can you remove? No time for that. Part of the traditional energy is you can be the new version of yourself at the same time as being, it's almost like you won't end up having a relationship that's codependent. So it's like you're trying to fit into that glove of being a traditional being, but at the same time, looking at it very differently where you don't fit. So a lot of the conversations I have with twin is like, he's saying, oh, I've got to level up and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, but you don't have to be. We never have been. And we do find it deeply amusing because there had been expectations on masculines to be a certain way. There had been expectations on feminine to be a certain way. Come as you are. Come as you are because that's what's required. And, you know, the more healing you do, the better it's going to be. But I do feel it's almost like you guys are a bit fixated on that. You don't have to be traditional. You're not traditional. There's value in who you are beautifully as you are. So if it's coming up potentially, have a look at it. And don't feel you've got to reshape yourself like Play-Doh to be something for another person because that's a flawed premise. Jointly, what's coming up between you guys? What's this lesson? What are the things that are occurring? And I will touch base with you guys during the week as well. I'll try and do it every 2 to 3 days. But I'm also going to do a Venus retrograde because we're going to experience shadow, the shadow energy of that. So I'm going to try and do it by signs. Bear with me. I'm trying to can't manage while I've got my daughter at home, which is not fun. 8 of Swords. Now, you need to forget what happened in the past. How do you do that? It's the inner healing, right? This is connected to the past. Both of you are seeing it is futile to be living in the past because it is not serving us. And it's almost like when you have been tuning into that far too long, you sort of get into it. And then you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, what's the point of doing that? Because it's the art of appreciation, right? I'm feeling many of you know that you can never go back to that, which is completely true. And many of you are feeling like there needs to be this transform coming through. Now, you win some, you lose some, right? But you haven't lost anything because what you're not wanting is to recreate that same cycle. So while you're tuning into it, it's always going to be the same. You're recreating it. So the detachment of that energy needs to come through. The Libran energy is bringing this balance back, but it's directly going to show both you and masculine in your own personal lives what you need to balance out. Oh, okay. Family, home, while you're at home. Clarification. The energy of the Chariot, the Cancer card, okay? Again, I did say when the nights shift, There is going to be a shake-up with this, and there is karmic energies playing out, and it came up a masculine sign. It did theoretically come through for feminines, but more from a perspective of what you're needing to be. There can also be for feminines, if you're tying up loose ends with the previous energy, it needs to still be dealt with. So if you have not dealt with that, and that cycle hasn't been closed out, it's guiding both of you to keep in duality to actually directly deal with that. This is a huge level up, and I do feel by the Taurus new moon, this is where the level up is coming from. But be ready, because what's being shown to me is this level up and being prepared is about the fact that masculine is coming in. And if you guys are in this energy of, negativity, feeling like nothing's ever going to change, this is going to creep up on you, and you're not going to be ready for it. If you have tasks you need to complete, do them now. Try not to get into the depressed state, because I do feel that you're wanting to clear the space to create room in your life so that you're more balanced to have a connection. Is what's going on in your life too busy? Do you have cleaning up to do? Do you have paperwork to do? Would that take you away from healing that connection or having that communication? Is there a job that you're looking at that you want to create in a career sector? What's coming up for you that needs addressing? That while you have this time, you can be addressing. Because I'm seeing that this is going to come extremely quickly. Okay, any issues of codependency that are going to show themselves? It can also be very much what's happening in the collective at the moment. At a financial level, what's happening is it's tapping into your creative energy. So the creative frequency that's coming through, and any mindsets, like I said, with Saturn retrograde, it's going to give you some ideas of what to do moving forward once we do come out of lockdown. And I'm thinking this is a creative venture. Many of you, this can be business, it can be finances, but it's also linking in with who should be in the tribe and who shouldn't. So with Saturn retrograde, it's helping us see that. Pluto retrograde is going to be hectic. Again, with the Jupiter aspects coming through, this is richness coming through, and it's creative energy. Balance your solar plexus and sacral chakra again. Do the foundation work. Saturn retrograde, bone energy. Lower back, your foundation being triggered. Look at that. Jupiter, there you go. You can't make it up. This is the energy of Jupiter, and I just mentioned this. This is where you are going to be having the connection, but you want to be ready for this. Jupiter energy does link into masculine as well. They have been going through the Phoenix rising since potentially the beginning of the year. And again, with the Cancer eclipse cycle, which has come up in the card reading, by the time we have the nodes shift, this is where the physical movement's coming, and the karmic energy is being directly dealt with. Yes, they're part of the foundation of the problem, but it's more to do with how to resolve it, how to balance it, and where to place these pieces. No value in this, okay? Not feeling the value. This can be on both sides. Again, 2 times, same thing. Value and justice in reverse, like very karmic. Okay. Now, at a collective level, when we did move into the super full moon in Virgo, it did bring up a spike in the energy. Now, if you're having a lot of dreams, like I mentioned, at the moment we are between, we're in the 4D, in the astro realm. So yes, you're going to be having really weird dreams. I've been having dreams of zombies. I've been having dream of twin. I've been shape-shifting energies. You name it, the dreams have been coming through very heavily. So you do need to actually clear the space in your room, male or female. Oh, wow. Okay, there is something for those of you, that have children or are karmic with children. I'm seeing 2 things. If you're with a twin, caution, because there is fertility energy coming through, right? Some of you might be feeling this is the wrong time. Anything that's occurring right now is the right time. Again, detach, get your chalk, picture it, draw around the circle. That's all you can control. whatever is to play out is meant to be. Nothing can be taken from you. I do feel many of you, it's more to do with the triggers of what's happening. You're concerned about your families. You're concerned about the changes. You're thinking, you're not hearing everything in the media. Things are being taken from you. You're at a loss again. It's disempowerment, dis-ease energy. Tune out of it. We are being energetically our own worst enemies. Have faith and move beyond that point. It's to trigger you and take you off your spiritual path. Now, again, codependent energies are going to be shown to us at the moment, but they're also the solution. Following your faith, you'll see how codependency, again, with the Capricorn energy being connected into the grid and what we need. Yes, there's a level of needing some of that, but there's also a healthy codependency, which is more, I think, the 8th house mark. Yeah, keep faith. Yes, everything's changing, but it's going to look different, and there is going to be financial abundance. I mentioned this. This is both spiritual and emotional and physical abundance between the connection. So all your hopes and dreams, yes, are coming through, but you've got to get into your heart center. And this does feel by July, because whenever I'm saying the growth, your victory is coming through after the node shift. But it's not to say that the work you need to do now needs to get done now. You need to get into alignment. This is going to cause envy. So yes, white light yourself. Keep your cards close to your chest. Write down, especially with the nodes moving into Gemini, it's talkability. It's tongues wagging. It's Mercury energy. Also, if you're needing to achieve things, you need to jot things down, because what you'll find is you'll get sidetracked. It's very social. It's a very social sign. So you may find that, before you know it, you're Wikipediaing things, you're YouTubing things, and you could go from cooking to planting to twin flame, and you had 1,000,001 things to do. So jot down, try and get into a routine. Because again, like I said, when the nodes shift, everything in your life and your home is going to completely shift. You need to be prepared. Any questions? I'm going to pull 4 cards as a main theme for each element, and then I'm going to go. Yes, there you go. So was all right. Getting better there, eh? Earth signs. Do what you need to do. Don't let someone else make decisions for you. Earth signs, be in the energy where if you need to make decisions, own it, okay? Like I said, this is the level up area. When are the notes? May. In May, you'll still feel the energy this month, in my opinion. Because we do have Venus currently in Gemini. Also, very similar to eclipses, you tend to feel the energy beforehand, especially if you're an empath or you're psychic, which most of us ascending are tapped into that matrix. You'll sense when the Schumann resonance spikes. You'll sense when something's moving. You're tapped into the matrix. So, yeah, May. Water signs. Wow. You guys are seeing things very differently. What happened there? Probably because we've got 2 Cancer cards in this one. With the house energy being home of Cancer, with the Chariot. Again, with the nodes changing, this is the message collectively as well as Cancer. You will see the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll start seeing some movement moving forward through the Libra moon into the Taurus new moon. Okay, air signs. Oh, well, you jumped out. This has been coming up a lot. Yeah, well, this does make sense, right? You guys are going to feel a bit weird because the moon is directly connected to, Libra, for instance, and the air signs. We have Saturn and Aquarius. So some of you, it's going to be, you feel really different. You're like, okay, am I seeing something? It's going to be different for you guys, right? But you will be different at the end of it. So it can be a purge where you totally feel you've done a 360. It may be where you feel you can't lie and you've got to tell people the truth, but it feels a switch. Can even be where you're intuitively tuning into other people, but it's a purge. So it's like some people could be leaving your life, so to speak, or it more feels letting go of what you can't control. If something's been hidden, be it, it's going to come to the forefront. Some of you might feel you need to say something. Fire signs. Did I do fire signs? I don't think I did fire signs. Still tuning into that card for... Okay, fire signs are leaving a karmic situation. There is home disruptions. And again, this can be because of the purges that are coming up. It's also to do with needing to move. Some may actually be moving home during this time, and it's become very difficult, or even looking at home-related dynamics. Some may not be frontline workers and, be trying to balance these two energies during this time. I'm going to pull one more for air signs because that's a bit confusing. What do we need to know? You're leveling up. Ready to level up. Releasing the past. If something's hidden or not, you're trying to correct mistakes. Again, Saturn retrograde. I'm going to have to go because these people said they were coming on the weekend and they have turned up today. Love and light. I'll see you soon.